Hello, just trying to get everything set up, and I got it. So, hello everyone. Are you ready to start our second project? I'm going to do it a little bit different, and I'm going to go back. Hi, Monica. Hi, Christina. We just seem to meet up here a lot, don't we? But thank you for being here and supporting me. And also, if you are new or you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please subscribe and also hit the like button so that I can keep our videos up there in the algorithm and easy to find. But they are all also in the playlist. Well, thank you. I love you being here, Monica. And also, if you go to my main Country Craft Creations, you'll see the playlist so you can pull all this up. So we're going to get started on our berry sweet tonight. We're going to go through and organize the album. I've got the kit, and then I'm going to do things a little different so that I won't be digging through to find all these. I did it on, I think, the Butterfly Kisses, and I'm going to do that again so that I can do each page. I'm going to try it, and we'll see if it goes. There's really, no set routine on how to do these kind of albums. We don't have an order like I do with the chipboards. But I just want to try different things and see what works best. And because if I can kind of fine tune it, we can make a lot more, right? So let me just set this aside. First thing I'm going to get out, if you received your kit, they always come in these zipper bags. This is super stuffed. And we'll go through this real quick. And we're going to do our chipboard album after, and the cover's already been posted. Whoops. So you can actually be working on that or the Be Happy. Okay, we have our ribbon. Our shape sprinkles, icon sprinkles, and very sweet sprinkles. Just our assorted sprinkles. So we have these fun things to work with. Then you have your puffy icons. And I don't care who you are. There's no way you're going to use all of these. Well, so you'll have some left over, but we're going to put them on cards. So we still have our little cards to make. So in the kit also has our doodle pops. So there was 4 doodle pops with this mini line. They call it a mini line, but it was pretty packed. And then we have all things instead of this and that and our icons, and they combined it all together, and I thought that was pretty cool. I did like the mini line. So I'm going to leave out our 6x8 paper pad. Then we have our sheet of Berry Blossoms acetate, or it's called heavyweight acetate. So I will call it acetate from now on, I promise. And we can put right now our collection kit back in. We will be using some of our petite prints. We're going to use the white from our textured cardstock. And then, of course, you have your 10 sheets of white matting cardstock. And you have extra. I like you to have extra. I don't like you to make mistakes, because we all do, and not have enough. Then we have 6 extra sheets of the cardstock. We really don't need this right now, so I'm just going to pop that back in and set that aside, and then I'll set these. I can reach those easily. And then we'll be using that. Okay. As many of you know, the Doodlebug albums are loaded. Actually, you have 23 different different sheet things in here. That's all we can say is sheet things. There's so many that if you want to use all of them, we have found out, you got to just keep everything flat. It's just not possible. So I've tried 20. I've tried 18, 15 to 18 seems okay. You're still going to get a little, and you're going to need a ton of paper for all of it. So you're going to find that you do have quite a collection of extras, which I know we'll have a project coming up one day with that. So right now I'm just taking everything out and putting them in their own little piles. They're really good about, that's what I like. Everything is pretty neat. It's all together. Okay, so I've got my pocket. You can't really see that in the camera. It's just to the left of my red inserts. Then I've got my chipboards, and over here, my clear ones. So first I'm going to start with these are heavy. So, and then I've been thinking about these. In my next album, I may not use them. But it seems like I know such a waste. But I'm going to use the top, middle, and the last one. Okay. I'm just going to take out the bottom, the middle. Ooh, a little bit. Okay. And those two can just go in with all my extra things. They do flatten out after use. And actually, I'm going to put it in I've got my t-shirt press. Ooh. Ooh, this one doesn't. This one's not too happy. Oh, you know what? I have others. I think I can. Well, I don't know if I have the top one. Let me squeeze that back together. And I need to look and see if I have an extra one, because that's kind of bent up. Of course, they're all. No, they're all the middle ones. I think it almost looks like it got moisture before it got packed. Okay, that's okay. Now let's go ahead and grab our book that we just took everything out of. And we're starting in the back because it'll be so much easier. And if you're wondering what this album looks like, I did do a walkthrough. And it is up on my YouTube. It's here in the playlist. Okay, so the first thing that's going to go into the very back. Oh, yeah. Let's sort these really quick. So you have 4x6 and then 2 3x4s at the bottom. And again, these are in order too. Okay. So we have a 4x6 at the top, 2 3x4s at the bottom. And then I have the bottom tab. Oh, I could do that, huh? Okay, well, we'll see when we go to decorate it. Then we want the 4x4s. Then we have a horizontal pocket. Then we have the 4x6 and 4x6 top and bottom. Vertical pocket. And another 4x6 clear sleeve. And then the red insert. And the 4x4s. Vertical pocket. Six by 8 sleeve. And then we want the center. Oh no, those are my extras. I grabbed the wrong one. They're right here. My center tab. Six by 8. Our last horizontal pocket. Red insert. This is the last 4x6 with the two 3x4s. Another red insert. And the top here. Now, these are the pieces that we're going to use this in just a minute. So I took out two 6x8s and then these two tabbed pages. And then I'm going to leave that up to you. Totally up to you. If you want to go back, you can. You'll probably have some things left over, but your book's going to be so big. So I'll let you decide on that. But those you can just put in your, you can put in your extra bin, right? So right now that's how our little book looks. It looks little, and then it's not so little, but it's really fun. And just to let you know, our schedule, my schedule has changed a little bit this week. I actually will be doing back to some morning videos. Let's get some light on here. Some morning videos so that on Tuesdays and Thursdays and evening, so we can make sure that this is completely done, because then I need to go and back and do the videos for decorating our chipboard albums. Hello, good evening. And then we got more projects, so I got to keep going. What we're going to do first is we're going to start by building the pages that have the flips or flaps on it. Okay. And you're going to start with, make sure I get you the right one. So we're going to go to 2. We have this one. And don't worry, if it's not in order yet, you're just going to want to grab one of the red inserts. So it came, if you didn't get yours in order, you can just grab your red insert and follow along. One thing that I am going to do with my inserts, I am going to round these corners. And I'm just going to use my We Are rounder punch. You can use any, or you can leave them. You don't have to round them if you don't like. That's okay too. So this one, this is the front and the back. we have the holes to the right. And we're going to create this cute top flap using your white cardstock out of the solid cardstock assortment that came in your kit. If you're not making this with the kit, you can just use a white cardstock or any you like actually from your stash. Okay, it's time now to get rid of the packaging. Okay, so I need my cutter. We're going to need some glue or your favorite adhesive and my ruler, because that's going to help. And our flap is 7. Oh, there goes the camera. Sorry. It will straighten up here in just a minute. 7.5 by 6. So I will just wait. You know, it does this in the beginning. I'm not really sure why. But we'll just be patient with it. Sometimes I think it's just testing me. Oh, it's being stubborn tonight. There we go. See, as soon as I open my advanced program, it kind of like, oh, I need to straighten up. Okay, we got it. Okay, this is the white textured, and I'm going to cut this at 6 by 7.5. I'm keeping it the same size as the 6 by 8 paper pad. And it's 7.5 inches long. And I do have, I think, 1 or 2 more of these kits available online. So if you want them, you want to grab them, because this paper line still has not come in. And I still have pieces and parts, but not enough to make kits. Let's go ahead and score it 7 from Doodlebug. Hopefully it will be back in stock soon. Okay, so with the 7.5 inch across the top, we'll score this at 7 inches. Now round the corners. And miter those corners. So remember, we want the holes to the right. Oh, and then one other thing I did on the left-hand side to match, I round, you want to go through the half-inch gusset you just made. And then trim that. And we're just going to adhere this to the top. Remember, we need to stay over to the left. And so I went about 1/8 of an inch from this left-hand side because our paper is also only 6 by 8. And what's a live video without Wilbur's sound effects? Sorry if you guys hear him. He's just groaning in his sleep. Okay, so we have that down, and let's go ahead. I'm going to open my paper pad. Now, one thing, this page, this is going to be the cover of our 6 by 8 mini album that we make from chipboard. And then it's also on a sleeve in this album. So we won't be using those. So you'll want to make sure you don't like use the back or anything because they have a purpose. So the first thing I want is the polka dots because they're smaller. Polka dots on polka dots. And I want to round the two corners. Okay, and as you can see, it does run, it can run a little small. I had some of the white showing, which is okay. And if you decide you want to have it right up there, then you can just put a little strip of border as we're working because there's plenty of little scraps left. Or you can put one up here at the top. But I thought it looked okay. So I'll let you guys choose on your album. Then I always love to see how it goes from this to this. Isn't that just cool? Okay, so we can put this one back into the book for now. I like to keep those in order. So we have the book here. We don't want the pocket. We don't need the 6 by 8. But we do need this middle tab. Okay. Our middle tab has the 2 top flaps and one on the bottom. Now on the bottom, I did use a magnet because it was flipping down. So you'll want a magnet or some other kind of closure. For me, it was just a magnet. It's great. And on this one, we are going to use the rest of our texture cardstock. Okay, our bottom is going to be 6 inches by 4.5. So we'll go ahead and just cut that first so I have that measurement in my brain. That was this piece we just cut off for the other flap. And so it should already be the 4.5 by 6. Then our top ones are going to be 3 by 4.5. So this is that second part that we cut at 6. So I'll go ahead and actually I'm going to cut it at 6 inches. So I leave a nice big 6-inch square. Making sure it's 6 inches. Yep. Now I can cut 4.5. And 3. My large magnets out. Okay. We have some scoring. Four and a half across the top with my 4 by 6. Man, my measurements are finally coming off on the side. And I'll just score this at 4 inches. And our 3 by 4.5, put the 4.5 across the top and let's score at 4 inches. And the same with your second one. Okay, let's round the corners if you want. I swear, I vacuumed my whole desk today, and this stuff hides under everything. These little corner pieces. Okay, I did not do magnets at the top because they were fine. And I have the texture on the outside, even though you won't see it, but it's on the outside. Okay, when I did this, this is going to come from our petites, or our, petite prints. See, I cut it a little bit wider. So I cut it 6 1/4 so that I could have these over to the edge a little bit more. So that's kind of nice when you can cut your bigger pieces of paper. But when I put this down, still want to only keep about 1/8 of an inch on this side, but also, keep away from those holes. And then let's go ahead and miter these corners so nothing shows. Did anybody out there, did you guys get your bee album done, or are you still working on it? If you missed it this morning, we did do the ribbon. So the ribbon is all on the book, and the binder one is done. And I do love doing these with you because I wanted to show you. You can do these. They still look amazing, and they don't take a long time if we do them every single day. If you can craft every single day, that is, right? And then it's just a great feeling to have the projects done and being able to move to the next one. Okay, now we want to set these guys down at the top. We want to keep them in this, same perimeter, so everything looks symmetrical. With a little gap down the center. These will lay flat. Mine do. And then a little space in between there. And then I'll go ahead and put my magnet down now. Otherwise, I'll forget. You could use a small one. I just don't have any here, so I'm using the large. Okay. For this one, I won't put the matting on yet. Oh, actually, yes, I will. Let's just do it now. Then it'll be done. So we need to get into our petite print assortment. And I'm going with the yellow with the grid. Sorry, I just need to check something. Okay. In between here and the bottom, I'm going to measure. Mine measures out at 8 1/4. So I'm going to go 8 1/8 by 6 1/4. Then I can trim it as needed, and I use the plaid on the inside. So let's cut 6 1/4. And then 8 1/8. Well, Monica, let me tell you, some nights there's with Wilbur snoring, it's like, boy, you got to quit. You're snoring so loud. So let's check our fit, and then we can trim. Yep, I got to trim. So my 8 1/8 is fine, but we're going to have to take 1/8 of an inch off. So 6 1, what did I do this one at? I did 6 1/4, so I'm going to do 6 1/8. So we'll just take that 1/8 of an inch off, because it's better to trim than to be too short. Okay, that looks good. Comes right up to the holes and covers my hinges nicely. Get those edges down. Magnet. That one is good. So we're going to turn it over. And we're going to create this little flap with the yellow. And this is going to be 3 5/8 by 8 1/8. So I didn't want to cut off of my little card here. So 3 1/8 by 8 1/8. No, not 3 1/8, 3 5/8. We're going to use the textured, and I did use the bright yellow. Well, that's the only yellow in here. Hi, Sherry. How are you? Okay, 3 5/8. And 8 1/8. Okay, 3 5/8 at the top, and let's score it 1/2 inch. And let me see, we need our 6 by 8 paper pad, and we do need this to put this, because we want to make sure we place this in the correct place. And what I'm looking for is the light pink with the polka dots right here. The front has our little tags, but we have those on our 12 by 12. So turn this over. And burnish your score line. Miter the corners. Okay, so our main thing is we need to make sure we place it, see where the dots are, and then it's just a hair longer. So one way to avoid any issues here is we're going to do this a hair different. I mean, a little bit different. Uh-oh. Oh, it's longer. That's right. It's going to sit on the inside. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to attach this to the back here. Oh yeah, I saw your damage. So I've got about a 1/16 of an inch at the top and the bottom. Once I have it placed so it looks good, I'm just going to attach it to the back. And we'll put it down as a unit. And then no problems with placing it. there it is. Okay, really burnish that down. And back to our 6x8 paper pad. And we're wanting that sheet that has those on it. I really wish Doodlebug would just make a whole sheet, a 12x12 sheet with a whole bunch of these, because I just love them. I love them for everything. Okay, cut those in half at 3. This one we'll set aside because it's going to be used. And we'll just place that. We have a nice little bit of a yellow border, and we don't have to cut this down at all. When we put it on the pockets, we usually have to cut off some of the border. And again, such happy, pretty colors. I love it. Okay, I did not mat the inside, but we'll come back for the decorating. Okay, so we got that one. That one's complete for now. We can pop that one in. And so let me just go step by step with you. So we don't need our 6x8 right now. This is our vertical pocket. We can just turn that. Our 4x4s. This one is good. But we want our next one, which is our vertical pocket. So our vertical pocket has this one, but we're going to use the yellow that we used on the other page. Okay, and again, I cut it big enough that it left room here in between if you want to put tags on top, or if you just want to put them in the pocket or your loose photos, is mostly what I use that for. So this one is going to be 3 and 5, or 3.5. No, it's going to be 3.5, and I believe the same. It's going to be 3.5 by 8 and 1/8. Let's see. Did I have to cut some off? I think I did, but we're not going to. So we're going to do it 3 5/8 by 8 and 1/8, just like we did with the other, so we don't have to cut anything off. And this is the petite print that we just cut. And 8 and 1/8. Okay, 3 5/8 at the top of the scoreboard. This is a little bit lighter, so make sure you don't push too hard when scoring, and we'll score at 1/2 inch. And I did round the corners. And so that means this little guy, we're going to round the corners just on this outside. That side we don't. Very nice. Fits perfect. I don't mount. I did not map the back side of this one. Okay, for here, we just want to stay about 1/8 of an inch from the holes, but you need a little space here because you got to open it. Okay. Oh, let's go ahead and miter these corners. Hi, Tian. How are you? Okay. Bring it back to the holes. Remember, you need that spot between the pocket and the flap. Our 6x8 with the mini print of floral. But I need to see something because I did make this a hair longer. Oh, but we mitered the corners. We're fine. We're just fine. And then our pocket will have the floral on the outside, and it's 2 7/8. And then the other half of this will go into the pocket. Floral on the outside, and it matches that border. Okay, and green on the inside, which will barely cover your pocket. It'll come right to the edge. See, it just sits right there. So they kind of meet together. Hello, Tomalee. We're back at it again. But you guys are like, oh no, we're making another album. We are. We got to get our summer projects done. Okay, so that one, whoops, is done for the flap. that back in. And I just want to make sure that, yes, we have to build on the back of the last horizontal pocket. And our, move everything here. Our insert becomes our flap. So with the cutter, we're going to cut this down to 6 inches. So it's 6 inches. But you know, this is really a good thing to keep. So you can use it as a guide. If you ever want to make your own pages, then you can use this for your guide. So definitely hang on to that if you want. And I did not cut, yes I did. Did I cut some length off? I did. I cut it down to 7 3/4. And again, that's a good little piece just to hang on to how we're done. I didn't use it, but you just never know. You might want to use it. Okay, 7 3/4 will be in the scoreboard. Now this is a little heavier, so I need a different scoring tool. Hold on. So I'm going to score it 1/2 inch. And you still don't want to push too hard, but I did need something a little bit more than that little guy. And I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing. There we go. And we'll miter that top. And I'm going to round the bottoms. But you know, it's such a great feeling. Oh my gosh, when you get these done, you're like, wow, I accomplished something. I actually got it done. I always am amazed. I look at it and I think, oh my gosh, there's so many pages. And I'm like, well, that didn't take us very long. Okay. The holes to the right because the pocket is on the front. And we're going to place this up here at the top. Again, you want to keep it away from the holes. This is heavy enough, you won't need anything for the closure. And about 1/8 of an inch away from the side that doesn't have the holes. It's a little bit more slippery because the red has a slippery surface. It doesn't want to go even for me. There we go. No, no, Tian, we took out some. I'll count it for you at the end. I think we did 15 or 18. We'll do a count here when I'm done. Okay, for right now, we're just going to pop that back into the book. We're not going to, we've got some strategic adding to do with, and we need scraps for a couple of that. Okay. The next one is going to be, so you'll just pop that 4x4s, and it's this insert here. And we have these 2 flaps. And I actually used the white, just your white matting cardstock for this, and we cut 2 4 3/4 by 4 1/4. Oh, it's falling apart. There we go. So for this one, you just want the white matting cardstock that came in your kit. Now you can use, because let me get my scraps here. So that's the wrong one. Well, it was sitting here because I was going to show you. I had a ton left over. Here it is. No, well, I didn't have a ton, but you definitely could use, you've got this bright pink. So if you want to use and then not map the back, you could use your pinks. If you want to use a solid with this, we're going to have a red background. So let me show it to you again. So if you wanted to use some of your textured, you certainly could. This is from what I had left over. I'm going to be making some cards with it too, but I use the white and then I just matte with the pink and then the 4x4 card. Whoops. There I go, hitting the mouse. Hopefully, I've been watching that I don't mute myself. Okay, so first cut is going to be 4 3/4. And this is just the white matting cardstock. You had 10 sheets. And then 2 4 1/4. Okay, you need the 4 3/4 across the top. And you can score it 1/2 inch or 4 1/4. Depends on which end you want to score at. Now, once again, for this, we want to cut the matting. We want to wrap these on the matting, because if we don't, then it may not fit correctly. So we're going to use our petite prints with this red. And I did cut a piece. See, I ended up having to cut mine at 5 3/4 because I put them down first. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to cut my piece at 6 by 8. So that we don't have to shorten the page like that and have all that white showing. So you're going to want your ladybug. And it's not directional. So I'm just going to cut it at 6 by 8. Okay. Let's go ahead and finish up those score lines. Okay, I didn't miter any corners because what I'm going to do is put it about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom. And then about 1/8 of an inch from the top. I just want it to be straight. I need to get a holder. Yes, 6 by 8. top one. There we go. Again, just about a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch from the bottom. Now that just makes it so much nicer to place. Are you going to the store? Okay. Okay, these will be ready for our 4x4 cut aparts and our pink. But actually, let's just go ahead and put those on now because we're doing really good. You have 3 pinks, kind of a really light pink. They're kind of different colors. And then you'll want the 12 by 12 sheet. In your kit, you have your extra 6. I love this one. Strawberries. Of course, it's my last one. There we go. Okay, I chose the house and the wreath. This one goes on our first page. I always have one where I capture some of the edge there of the other card. Okay, now we want to cut 2 pieces of 4x4 from the light pink. And then we'll pop those on, and that way, because this is a little bit lighter cardstock, and this will strengthen it so it doesn't get bent or anything while we're turning pages and messing in our book. And then actually we have 1 page done completely, so. I'll put my wreath on the bottom and my house on the top. You can double mat if you like. If you like to double mat, you would cut 4 1/8 by 4 1/8, and you really wouldn't see too much of it. No, you might see some. And then we'll put the pink back here. I know, and such happy colors. And I love colors that actually, I mean, you can feel them, if that makes sense. They just have a vibrant, well, it's Doodlebug. It's just happy all the time. So this one, there's no upside or right side, it looks like. We can use any side we want. Maybe there's a little bit of upside down. There is. We don't want our strawberries upside down. Yeah, because if we don't feel it, most crafters cannot work with it. I know if I don't feel it, I'm not going to create with it. Okay. See, that strengthened those right up. Okay, let's see, need to check the back. Nope, we're good. We can put this one back into the book. And we can close. I'm going to go back to our front because what we're going to do now is I want to pull out, let me skip there. Okay, we're going to pull out our 6x8 papers that are going to go into pockets. And our first one is going to be this 6x8 that's right in front of these that we built. And it's going to be the Sweet Life. And we want to just go ahead and slide that in there for safekeeping. Okay, we can go ahead and skip that page. Then we have another 6x8. And I think we have, yes, 2 different papers. We're going to cut a 6x8 green. And then this is going to come from the 6x8 paper pad because we also have them on our 12x12 papers. So we're okay there. Put this one back. And we want the green. Well, there's more than one green. And I used the lighter green. Then we want the second piece. So it'll be in the second half of our book because we used one. I'm going to double check it. That is not the one. Wait a minute. No, it's not. It did come from our 12x12 paper pad. So those extra sheets with the polka dots. So that means we don't want to use that because we've used it for something else. Oh, I don't need that one. Okay, so let's cut our green at 6x8. Okay, so we're just going to go 8 inches all the way across. And then 6 inches. We're going to use all of those. And we're going to use the back side. So for right now, we'll just put those together. And into the sleeve they go. Okay, let's turn that page. Oh, here it is. Okay, now we're going to go ahead. Let's just go ahead and cut these apart because I used all of the 3x4s while we have this here. And let's just cut our 3x4s. I'm going to cut both ends. I've got, there we go. Okay, let's just get them all cut. Now this guy, I don't think I used him. And then we'll cut these 4 apart. Ooh, it drives me crazy when there's a little at the top. I have to cut it. Okay, so those are done. We won't have to cut them. And that one is not cut correctly. Trim that better. There we go. Good. I'm glad it's not just me because it does drive me crazy. Okay, we are going to take my sweetie. Oh, and I got to fix the house. We want the sweetie and the house. Oh, but we don't want this house. So the house we want does not have thank you on it. I forget to check that. But, oh. Okay, they use the same graphics. Wow, I didn't even notice that. Isn't that crazy? So, I did use, let me show you the difference. I just now noticed that, and I'm not going to actually worry about it. So it says, my sweetie, you're so sweet. And because I cut these, I'm going to go with it. And then this has thank you. But you know what? That's going to be one where a sticker goes across it, where it says thank you. So it's the same graphics. You know, I did not notice that when I was putting this together. Crazy. Okay, so you can still cut up your 6x8 if you like. I'm not going to because I cut this one up. And sometimes you have to trim these. You know, I didn't even notice that till right now. And I guess now I know to start looking at the 3x4 pads as opposed to the 12x12, that there's different wording on there. That's crazy. It goes this way. Okay. We're going to, that means the back is different. Okay. Well, we cover it in white paper, so it's okay. I just learned something that I thought I knew and I didn't. Okay. Well, this one's going to have, when we get there, a sticker over the top. Okay, so for now, that's just going to go in. Right now, we're just going to get the cut aparts into our sleeves. Oh, and we do need to round the corners. We're doing this prep work. And then we'll hit it hard in the morning. We're going to do the prep work. So we should be done here in a second. Then I'm going to take the last half hour and I want to cut the white mats with you. Okay, we're going to double check these because our next one is going to be those 4x6 cards. But I'm going to check and see what's on the back. And it is this one. Okay. So we want to put this one in the, it's hard to see, in the bottom here. I'm going to cut that glue off. I'm going to slide this into the bottom. That one I don't use yet. Ouch. Okay, so we can keep turning here and turning. Okay, let's take this one out. Now I'm going to double check. Yes, I did use the correct one here. Yep, it's this one. The Just For You. And it went up here at the top one. The rest, see, we'll cut them when we start cutting into our big papers. Because we will then add them into these different places. Okay, that one's done. And now our back one, we have the wreath. And it just goes here at the top. Okay. So that one's at the top. Okay. So I want to cut the white with you because I'm still trying to figure out why on earth every time I go to cut it, it never, I don't seem to cut them all. Excuse me. And so I thought we'll just cut them together. And then when we meet in the morning, we're just going to now go in and start matting all the pages. And I'm going to be putting the white mats down as we go. So I wanted to cut them with you. So you will need to grab all of your white cardstock that came in your kit. And then we have that piece that we did already cut that we're going to start with. Okay. I'll let you guys get everything out. Then I will show you the pages we're going. So I'll basically cut them in order of where they're going to go. And this way, I'm hoping I don't miss any. So this one's going to be 3 5/8 by 4 3/4. Make my little spot there. So I'll just cut 4 3/4. going to get more out of it that way. And then 3 5/8. So if you're writing those down as we go, and you know, I would be very wise to write those down as I go so I can just pop them on scrapbookers. Our next one we're going to use actually is matting here to break up, you know, some of those colors. So it's 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. I need to grab that piece before I cut into it. I'm real good at cutting into the paper I've already cut for something, and then it's like, oh goodness, yeah, 3 5/8 and 4 3/4. Turn them upside down. Move them out of the way. For this page, we are going to cut 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and that's going to be kind of a common size that we're going to be cutting. So while we're at it, we're going to cut 2, we're going to cut 3, we're going to cut 4 to start. We'll end up cutting quite a few of those, but that's our 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And like I said, I will put these in scrapbookers. So 2 3/4. Right now we're going to cut 4, and we'll make our little piles. By 3 3/4. It's not long enough, but we have some smaller ones. Oh shoot, I didn't measure the length. I should have done that first. So 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. That's my, so this is my second one. So I'll get out my second sheet. See, this is the boring part. And if we get this all done, then we can just move right on. But within the album, there's construction. There's nothing we can do about that. So there's our 4. I think we have another 3 5/8. No, we have a 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. So let me cut that really quick and write that down. 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. Then we have 4 little ones up here at the top. These are going to be 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. And we have 4. See, and I think me doing it live with you, I won't miss any because I do that. Now I need to get paper clips out. Yeah, paper clips. So 4 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. And that makes me crazy when I'm doing it with you and see that I missed a couple. Let's just go 2 1/2 this way. here. Okay, so when I have multiples, I'll start writing on them. So to the count, we want to add 2 more 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So let's cut 2 more. That crazy light makes that. It's nice to have more light, but it makes a funny glare on my shiny stuff. Okay, so there's 2 more. So far we have 4, 5, 6. And of course, it's always good to have extras. Okay. Then we're going to want 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. No, we don't. We want 2 3/4 by 2 5/8. No, you know what? It is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 because our matting back there is 3 by 3. So we want 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and we want 2 of those. Okay, I will write on those. Nope, that one's good. That one's good. Okay. I need to take this little guy out. I think both of them. For this little flap that we're going to create, so we need 3. They're going to be 4 by 4. So we need 3 4 by 4. So you should need another sheet right now. And we'll cut right from the strip 4 by 4s, 3 of them. And 3. Now, if you don't like the white, actually, that's just, some people call these placeholders for photos. I've heard them called placeholders, and they actually just cut their photo that size. So I would now cut my photo 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So you, any way that you like to do it is just fine. Now we need a 4 by 6. I think we're going to need a couple of these, but we'll just start out with the 1. Back. We'll cut our 4 and then a 6. Keep that because I know we have more. Okay, we can skip over here. Now we have a nice, another, I put some nice big ones in here because I figured with summer, we're going to want some nice big pictures. This one's going to be 4 1/2 by 4 1/2. So you do have to get a new sheet of paper. Okay. These will cut with the red, but on the inside, we have 4 more 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So we can add 4 to that count. Now let's just take it from here. Oh, well, that's the wrong size. It's 2 3/4, not 1 3/4. Put that pile. So we're cutting 4 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And I need one more because of my boo-boo. I think that is a 3 3/4. Yep. Get that there. Okay, we have a big one. It's 4 1/4 by 7 1/4. So 4 1/4 by 7 1/4. So I don't mess those up. Okay, back side. These are just a little bit different. These are 2 5/8 or 2 3/8 by 3 1/4. So 2 5/8 by 3 1/4. That's because those little banners were just so much smaller. And that's what's fun about these books. You can make your photo mats any size you like. Because you make your own photo spots. Okay. Well, we're back to this size. Oh, actually, you know, this size, I had to cut these down a little. So we'll probably just go ahead and go with the 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. I did have to cut a little length off, and that's fine. So we need one more. And actually, I believe, I cut into it. So I'll just go ahead with my 3 3/4. And when we get there, you can trim it if it doesn't quite fit your card. Because that could be a card I was a little short on. So we won't do that yet. Okay, the back side is on the 4 by 6 card. So we're going to cut this at 3 3/4, and it's going to be 5 3/4 for this top one. And I think we have one or two more, so I won't put that into my pile yet, but I don't want to cut that. Okay, these two. These two are going to be 4 by 3 or 3 by 4. There we go. I know, boring part, huh? But hey, it'll be done. We'll get this. This is called our homework. But we're doing it together. Now I'll leave these out because I do think we have a couple more. I can't quite remember. Okay, we have another, so there's the other 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. Oh, good. I can use this piece. So 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. That's our second one. So we can just put that in that pile. When we get there on the back side, we'll have a pink one. Okay, this little guy, he is going to be 4 1/2. 4 1/2 by 2 3/4. So 2 3/4 by 4 1/2. What did I just tell you? Oh, 2 3/4 by 4 1/2. Let me just let her know that I'll be right back. Okay, perfect. Now we have these little cute squares. So I wanted these to be more like Polaroids. And our little Polaroid ones are 2 3/4 by 2 1/4. And we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these. Let me give you that measurement again. 2 3/4 by 2 1/4. And we want 7. So I'll go 2 3/4 with this scrap. And then 2 1/4. Three. And 2 3/4 by 2 1/4. and 7. There's 4. I'm just double checking. 5, 6, 7. Okay, we got them. Two and 3/4. Yay. This is so nice that we're getting this done. Okay. We're almost there. Almost there. And then the fun can begin tomorrow morning. So this one I did with our textured cardstock, and it's going to be 5 by 4. And that white, let's see, we have a piece. Remember we kept it 6 by 6? And it's the textured. The reason I did the textured is it's not behind anything, and it shows, and I just wanted that texture there. So we'll keep these pieces for sure. So 4 by 5 white texture. I'll write that down. And I'll get these measurements too on Facebook so that you guys will have them. Now we need, this is our last page, and I think I got them all. I didn't miss any. We have 2, 3, 4 more 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. This one's a little different. Oh no, it's not 2 3/4. No, we need, it's not. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 5 more 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So that gives us 5, 10, 15. We need 16 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 all together. Okay, so I'm going to cut 5 more. There's 4. And then I'm going to put these guys over here now. And this 4 by 6, apparently I don't need it. So I'll cut my last one. My 2 3/4 and 3 3/4. That should give me my 5th one. Okay, let's just do a double check what we have. Make sure, I'm mostly these, I want to make sure I cut the 16. Eight, 9. 15, 16. That's a stack of cards there. Okay, 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, I don't think I missed any this time, which I'm super, super happy about. Because you know, you guys, you always get on with me on camera, and this way you saw me cut it. Okay, so that's ready to go, and I'll get that in my little bin. And one last thing before we go tonight. Let's count our pages. We're going to do 1, 2, 17, 18. So I did take 2 out of this one compared to the Be Happy. But you are welcome with your leftovers. You can put 2 more pages in. Okay, tomorrow, then we will get started. We'll be matting, and I am going to actually get my ephemera all prepared. And That way I can easily show you what we're going to use as we go. And I'm going to see if that makes things, you know, a little quicker. We will have a couple more to cut that we did not cut with our white, but we'll just see how that goes. It'll be fun to try something a little bit different. And then you can go ahead and you can either I keep the ones that are more symmetrical. These others I will not keep, except for the white texture. And then that way we don't start with a big mess. But then you've got extras, okay? So if there's mistakes, you've got like 3 or 4 extras here that you can just put in your zipper pouch. And I'll see you guys then. Tomorrow morning, I'm planning on going live about 9 a.m. Mountain Time so we can get started and just, you know, before the store opens, spend 2 hours and we'll get our matting done. And I will see you guys in the morning. Bye-bye.